Hey guys, it is time for me to work on my boat. Now, I've had this thing for a few weeks now, and in my first video with it, I showed you the boat, and I told you I'd do modifications, and I'd show you all the modifications. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do my first modification today. I got this hatch. Check this thing out. Okay, this black plastic hatch, it's got a red bag inside, and it just attaches, you put it inside your boat, and it's made for kayaks actually, but my boat, or Boyak, is plastic, and it's got plenty of places I can add something like this just for a little more storage or whatever. But just it's such a small vessel, I want to add a few places much like a kayak so that you can have extra storage. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to install this thing in this spot here. Check this out. Okay, so this thing out of plastic here. Now this seems like pretty good quality. It seems pretty flat, and it's not warped up or anything. You twist that to unlock it, and I know the screws are in here. I already opened it earlier, so get those out. Those over here, and again that just kind of rests in there. So actually, once I have that there and installed, I can access inside this hole if I needed to, inside the hull, and just by removing this, because this rests on a lip here. I'm going to use the inside of this ring here as a guide to mark the hole. Just double check here, make sure I'm right. Alright, so I always measure twice, double check everything before I ever make any cuts. Now this little gasket is just a foam gasket, and it was moving around on me, so I wanted to tape it down just before I made the mark, and just to make sure it was right. I'm just using a Sharpie here to mark inside the circle to cut by. Alright, once I have it marked, I remove the gasket there, and you can see the mark I made. Now first I'm going to use a drill to make a couple small holes so that I can use this new cool cutter that I got, a little Ryobi cutter that I use to cut cardboard a lot. I thought it may work here on this plastic, but it did not work at all. So then I got out the Dremel tool with the cutting blade, and that worked like a charm. Just followed that around, just kind of freehanded it there. Again, you won't see that cut because it'll be hid by the hatch. So after I get this hole cut out, I can see there's styrofoam inside there, which I thought there was, and there's also the wires going to the light there at the back, which will make it easy for later when I replace that plug. But I'm also going to keep that plastic that I removed. I may need that at a later date, I'm not sure. But I was trying to take the styrofoam out with my pocket knife, and it wasn't going very fast at all. So I decided to get out my drill, which I was using earlier, and that makes pretty fast work of removing this styrofoam. Just kind of making a hole there, making a cavity so that I can have a place for that bag to hang there for the hatch. And once I get the cavity made, then I'll be able to move on to the next step. This stuff does make a mess, but a quick cleanup with a shop vac, and you can see I have a good place for that bag to hang from the hatch. I will double check the fit, and it does not fit, so I'll just mark around the edge there and take out just a little extra with the Dremel tool. And again, this Dremel tool with a cutting blade does make quick work of cutting any type of plastic like this boat or a kayak as well. Alright, I have a good snug fit. It rests flat on the deck. I'll turn it so that the person sitting in the back seat there at the boat has the easiest access, and then I'll mark for the holes there for the screws. Okay, after marking the holes there, I'll get my 1/8 of an inch drill bit and make the holes there for the screws. This particular hatch did not come with a backing plate, so the screws are just going to be into the deck there on the boat, which that should not be a problem at all. And again, when installing the screws, I'm not going to over tighten them or take a chance on stripping out the plastic. but I do think they will hold this thing down very snugly to the deck, and it does feel like a good quality hatch. Again, I got it off Amazon, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. But I now have an extra little bit of storage there on the boat, which will come in very handy. All right, guys, that's it. That's the first modification to the Boyak, and it turned out really well. It's very solid, and I think that hatch will be handy when I'm out on the water. When I'm putting my glasses or wallet or keys, whatever I put in it, it'll get that out of the interior of the boat and away and safe. So I'm also happy with the fact that the styrofoam was in there, and I was able to make a little cavity there to put the bag. So the bag won't just be swinging inside the vessel there. It'll be solid inside that styrofoam. So I'm looking forward to more modifications. I have another hatch to go at the front, and it's a smaller hatch, and because it's a smaller area, I considered putting another one on the other side, but I probably will not. But we're going to see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great night.